income, education, and sanitation. End of quote. Therefore, it's our hope at SPYL that the recommendations emanating from this session will be incorporated in respective budget votes, debates, and beyond as we strive to implement the Swapa Party manifesto. To the audience, my fellow young people, this is your platform tonight. This is your chance to reflect and contribute to the national budget. I thank you.
As mentioned earlier, we are two. I'm the last born, and Comrade Andreas Marungu is the firstborn. I would like to call upon him to continue with the program.
Thank you, my co-moderator or MC of the event. Now, as the firstborn of the mighty Swapa Party, I want us to proceed, and the next item on our program is then to give, to the very reason why we are here, we are going to give the chance to Comrade Velema Mtenya, Member of Parliament, member of Central Committee of the Swapa Party and of that of the Youth League, to then take over and proceed with the engagement. Thank you very much. I hand over to you.
It is not youthful. The mic is not youthful at all. Now, hard work. Now, dear comrades, good evening. I think without wasting much of the time, I should just express my gratitude that I'm seeing a packed hall of young people, very much packed. I believe there are still some young people that are outside that wish to join this discussion, that actually demonstrate that we are indeed responsible and would want to make sure that we carry and we carry forward the development, socio-economic development of this country. Therefore, without wasting much of the time, I would like to introduce to you the panel of this evening, or the panelist of this evening. We are here to unpack the 106.3 billion budget that was obviously tabled. And therefore, we are delighted this evening to have, number one, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, that is Dr. Chitunga Elia Ngurare. He's well-known to all of us, the Prime Minister of this country. He's a product of the Swapa Party Youth League. Once, obviously, the Secretary of the Swapa Party Youth League. Give him a round of applause. We are very much happy and excited to be with you, Honorable Doctor. Then the next we have is obviously the leader of the Swapa Party Youth League, that is leading the youth of this country, the majority youth of this country. Honorable Ephraim Nekongo is a member of parliament, at the same time the secretary of Swapa Party Youth League. Give him a round of applause. Yes, those are our products of Swapa Party Youth League, eh? Okay. Then I should introduce to you our mother in our midst tonight, Honorable Erika Shafuda, member of parliament, the ticket of Swapa Party, Minister of Finance, dealing with Yoshimaliwa, and obviously she has been at the helm of the Ministry of Finance. For you that can all recall, she has been a permanent secretary that time, By then they were permanent members, permanent secretary. So we are happy to have you in our midst, Madam Shafuda, Honorable. Then we have, right on my right side, it's Honorable Esperance Luvindao, a youth minister of health and social Services. Obviously an expert in when it comes to the health and, you know, it's a medical doctor. So we are delighted to have you in our midst tonight, my dear sister. Then we have the well-known musician of our generation. And that is our very own top cherry, well-known Monica Piniers. Honestly speaking, I got to know her real name is Monica Piniers sometime. All I knew was top cherry. And thank you very much for being with us in, you know, tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the creative industry. And she's one of those leading the music industry of this country. You know, we have those that have been following the campaign. I believe all of us have been following the campaign of Swapo Party. She has been with us, top cherry, performing and entertaining and bringing in, you know, the creative industry within our campaign. Happy to see you, my sister, and remain Swapo as you are. Now, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, to unpack, and I should acknowledge the protocol that was already acknowledged before. We are going to go through just, you know, it will be an informal discussion. I think I'm going to have around 3 rounds of questions. And I would want to start with the host, Honorable Ephraim Nekongo. He invited us here. He organized and made sure that the young people are here tonight. You know, Comrade Nekongo, the Youth League, came from the Congress of 2022. It was well in Onghuwo, and we passed the resolutions in that Congress. And we passed those resolutions to the police conference of the Swapo Party, the policy conference of the Swapo Party, that obviously form part of our manifesto and therefore obviously of our budget that we are discussing tonight. So what do you think are the expectations or the budget expectations from the Swapo Party Youth League, considering then our resolution of the Swapo Party Youth League? That is the first question, Comrade Nekongo.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mtenya. Let me take this opportunity once again to congratulate Dr. Ngurare, you being appointed as our Prime Minister. I think it's the... Yeah, so I wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Ngurare for being appointed as our Prime Minister. So I said to you, your appointment is all of us, and we are happy that you are now our Prime Minister. During the campaign, I said, somebody said, yeah, but why are you campaigning for old people? But then I said, I'm repeating what I have said. I never seen a president that ran, but the president must be surrounded by young people. As we speak, Swapo Youth League is the main winner in this equation. It might not be me, but Swapo Party Youth League is the main winner. Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Works, Minister of Home Affairs, Member of Parliament. I can see even the Deputy Speakers. All of us, Minister of Informations. So Swapo Youth League is the one who's in charge of the country. Now, when I now come back to your question, when we were running around this country campaigning, and sometimes we must say these things unapologetically, because some people were not in Walvis Bay when we were campaigning. Some people do not know that there are people here who are living in Kambashu. Now, it's only it's befitting for us to talk about this budget when we are here. And I'm very happy when I speak about it when Doctor is here. We have been always campaigning here. So now that we are in charge of government, the question is to deliver what we have promised the people. When we were running around the country, we were promising people what we are going to do. definitely the budget that we are discussing here is merely a continuation of what we have promised the people. Now we are just putting it into practice. So now the question is, and I'm putting it to you so that you understand. When we were campaigning in Hardap, what were the people complaining about? What were the young people talking about? Unemployment, right? Now the question that we must introspect now, Comrade Shafuda, Comrade Prime Minister, Comrade Top Chair Minister of Health here is this budget speaking to that? If it's not speaking to that, then we are not doing justice. And I think that's a question that we must ask ourselves now. When you are in Katima Molilo and there is no hospital, we must unapologetically, and sometimes we must apologize to our people and say, if we are having a hospital in Katima which does not have medicine, we must challenge ourselves here unapologetically and say, enough is enough. Community Minister of Finance, if we are asking more, it's because we want to attend to that. So, I mean, for us as a youth league, this dialogue is a continuation of what we have done during the campaign. And it's for us now as a youth league that is in charge of government to assist the president, our president, to deliver the promises that we have promised our people. I don't know whether I might have diverted, but that is my answer to the question that you have given. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Nekongo. That is all fine. I think now I want to unpack something special that is quite unique in this budget, not only in the budget, but also it has been unique in our manifesto, and that is the creative industry, right? Which has formed actually part of the top 7 priorities of our manifesto and therefore the budget. And that's why I'm saying we are excited to have, Top Cherry in our midst this evening. Now, I think the question as a musician, Top Cherry as a musician, looking at, I believe you have been in the music industry for some time. You haven't heard of any time where we are talking about creative industry, budgeting, allocating a certain amount of money to the musicians. And we are talking much about talents. And this is the first time I believe you are hearing it coming out as one of the priorities. How do you feel as a musician, a young musician, your industry of talents, that is coming out and prioritized by the SWAPO party-led government?
Good evening, everyone. Well, firstly, I would like to congratulate the SWAPO-led government for the commitment to industrialize the industry that I'm in, which is the creative industry. You said it's unique, but do we have creatives here? Just quickly raise your hand. Yes, we have a lot. I saw a lot. Yeah. I'm sure they are shocked that you called us the unique creative industry, because we were almost like the stepchild, we operated almost as the stepchild. So I really commend and applaud that we are invited to the table at platforms such as this to include our input and to say what we have to say, because really for a very, very long time, we've been in an industry that is very, very rich in talent, but we lack the support, the infrastructures. We lacked so many things. And I was honored enough to have worked with the Honorable Minister of Education, Sports, and I saw how passionate she is about education. I also got to work with the Honorable Deputy Dino Balotti and as his time with Julinho, and I know how passionate he is about sports. So a lot of creators ask, okay, who is then there for us within the ministry with that passion? We saw the promises. We saw that we were told, no, in 2 years' time, we would have a state-of-the-art awards, and we'd also have a state-of-the-art creative hub. But even when the poster came out for this, a lot of creatives called me and they said, okay, what is happening? Are we now, do we count now? You know, because like I said, a lot of times, yeah, a lot of times we felt like the stepchild, you know, and we saw that even during the campaign that there was a disconnect there between the artist and generally with our party, and we don't want that, right? We don't want that. We want everyone to feel like they matter, like they are included. Maybe our honorable deputy can just, you know, he's here with us, luckily for us. If there is a structure coming, or if there is a committee of people that has the passion of creatives at heart, the way, of course, we've been seeing, he's probably the most busiest minister right now. He's been at every sports event. We must applaud you for that, really. Yes. Yeah, so if there is plans that are coming, if there is a specific committee, specific people that when something happens, we can say, sir, you promised us this and this is what is happening. Also with our radios, right now, creatives are suffering. I'm a musician, but I know there are other different arts, you know. With radio, our music, again, is just another stepchild, you know. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. I hope it answers the question.
Thank you very much. Where is the other mic? I think there should be another mic. Oh, you want you okay? Just a quick announcement. Okay.
So, Honorable Emma and myself have committed that we'll bring back the numbers this year.
The message is clear. The Nama Music Award is coming back. And I believe it's not only that. It's not only that. Obviously, more other, you know, talent shows would obviously come through. With the budget allocated, I think everything will come through. And thank you very much, Top Cherry, on that one. And thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Now, I think while we are talking about that, and very much excited about all these innovations and all these ideas, I think our Honorable Minister of Finance needs to give us, Honorable Minister, given that, we have a very high youth unemployment in Namibia, which is now actually standing at 44.4%, quite bad to even mention. What are the specific allocations in the budget, that has been made in the current budget that tackles these challenges and that promote youth employment within our budget?
Thank you, Comrade Moderator, and I acknowledge and recognize our boss, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and with all of us, I should just say good evening. Yes, no, the moderator, if you can just give me first 2 minutes, and then I come to the question. I'm really excited to be here. Number one, for the first time that I see a large number of the SWAPO youth, right? And we can only say it is because the secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League and the deputy and the whole structure are doing very well. Can we give them a round of applause? Now, yes, I'm saying this because I'm saying it with confidence, because being the transmission belt of the SWAPO ideology, policies, programs, and everything, they were the first ones to come and ask me, how did the budget respond to the SWAPO manifesto? Because the SWAPO manifesto contains the aspirations of the people represented by the SWAPO government, right? I said, no worries. All is in order. Now, thank you so much. I want to come to your question, moderator, by first indicating that, yes, on the 27th of March, I tabled a budget amounting to 106.3 billion Namibian dollars. Now, it's very, very important for us to unpack first what that figure represents. That figure represents an amount that is earmarked for operational expenditures, right? That is remuneration, or we say personal expenditure, other goods and services where pharmaceuticals are also there, so, yeah, clinical supplies, medical supplies, your textbooks, and everything else. That budget is in an amount of 79.8 billion Namibian dollars. That is the operational budget. Then you have the development budget, right? Your infrastructure, and that will come now to your question. Your infrastructure development, be it the roads, the clinics, the hospitals, the sport facilities, the low-cost housing, sanitation. Then you talk about land servicing, plus. That is in an amount of 9.6 billion. That's in the budget. And on top of that, there is 3.6 billion that is earmarked for capital projects, especially water, electricity, outside the budget, because they are financed through loans. Then lastly, because we also borrow, right? There is a portion of that 106 billion that needs to go for what we term debt servicing costs, and that is in the amount of 13.7 billion. If you add all those figures, you come to a total amount of 106.3 billion Namibian dollars. So that is it for 2025-2026 financial year. Now, for the colleagues and comrades who are not used to this budget language, our financial year starts from April, yeah, up to March of the next year. I'm saying this because at the end we are going to say, how can we hold all these votes that have been allocated so much money accountable? You hold them accountable as from April to March, in this case, 2026. Right, that's very important. Now, while we are debating the budget, the SWAPO government has put, yeah, laws together, of course, with the National Assembly and the Parliament. Okay, they have put in place a law, the State Finance Act, that says while the budget is being debated, we cannot just be sitting there doing nothing. The work should continue, right? So there's a provision of a 1/3 of the budget of a previous budget to continue doing something while the budget is being debated in Parliament. This is very important because there's no reason why ministry can say, no, we cannot do anything now between April to June because the budget is being debated. No, you ask them, what about that 1/3 that you have been authorized to spend during this period? Very critical. Now, I'm coming now to the question. Moderator, I thought I should spend a few minutes on that one because it's very critical that when our comrades read the budget documents, you should have an appreciation and understanding what you are reading, right? So, and again, in terms of accounting, we don't say ministries, we say votes. For example, the Ministry of Education, it's a long name, Education, Youth, and everything else. They have 2 votes because of when they are accounting, they have to account on the basis of those 2 votes, education and the former youth. Yeah, so that we don't lose the record of the former Ministry of Youth, right? So appreciate your budget. The money is there, and each one of the votes hold us accountable because we have been allocated funds to implement the projects as per the SWAPO manifesto. Very important. So whoever asks you a question, is your aspirations contained in the SWAPO manifesto election in the budget? You just tell them with confidence, you say yes. Yeah? And when they ask you, yeah, when they ask you, where can I quickly find that captured or outlined? You tell them, at the back of the medium expenditure framework document, at the last page, you will find a summary of the projects as contained in the SWAPO Manifesto Implementation Plan. Tell them, right? Lastly, I will come to your question. Lastly, when they say, yeah, but you said you were going to spend 2 billion on one project in 1 year, you say, look, we are very organized and we plan effectively. We are starting with what we have, but mark our words, we are going to implement to the core. Now, coming to the question, moderator. This budget, if I can say it with enthusiasm, is one that is really well crafted. Some people will say it is not well crafted because they don't understand it or they do not want to appreciate it. It is a budget where you can see correctly to say basic sport, what is it? Basic sport facilities in 121 constituencies. I have even memorized it because I like that one most. It is going to be allocated, yeah, or it has been allocated 200 million Namibian dollars. Now, critical to the question of youth employment. If these sport facilities, for example, are going to be constructed at each and every 121 constituencies, are we not talking about employment already created there during the construction of all these facilities? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. But that is not all. That is not all. You still also have the construction of hospitals, the construction of clinics, the construction of sports complexes. They call them stadiums, category 2, category 3. I am even learning a lot of all these categories because I didn't know them. So the amounts, moderator, they are there, including the new industry, the creative industry. That is why the deputy minister is indicating that NAMAS is going to be brought back because there's money in the budget. Let me end here because I know you are coming back. Yeah, but I can add more. 2 more. Right. Now, we also know that youth employment can be created through multifaceted approaches, right? We have not forgotten that one of the enablers is education and skills development, right? So we continue to invest on education. That is why the Ministry of Education has been given a lot of money, again, for education, be it for transfers to UNAM, transfers to NAST, VTCs, our favorite NASFAF. A lot of money is being allocated for that, right? So that is one. The second one and critical one, moderator, is the small medium enterprises development. And I want to touch on that one because, and I will also hear your views. When you look at the schemes that the government has developed or put in place, earmarked for SME or small enterprises development, a lot of them. But when you look at the impact, you don't see it. I ask myself, is it the theory of change that was not correct or what? You see? Let me see it properly. We have, for example, under the youth, Minister of Youth, now it's education, that vote, there is something called credit scheme facility, right? That's not all. Then you have National Youth Council. Then you have National Youth Service. Then you have something called Credit for Rural Development under Ministry of Urban and Rural Development. Then you have equipment, yeah? Equipment aid under now the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Then you come now to finance, and under finance, of course, Development Bank of Namibia. There you have coaching and mentoring. For who? For the youth and the women. Then you come skills-based. And I'm asking myself, when I put all these programs together, lots of money, including credit guarantee scheme, yeah, arranged with the banks and again guaranteed by government. The youth unemployment is still at 44.5%. I'm asking myself, where did we go wrong? And I want to hear your feedback because I know maybe you tried to apply and did not get responses or something. But good news, good news. We always learn from our mistakes where possible. Good news is we are going to establish a national youth Development Fund. As per the recommendation, as per your recommendations through the SWAPO Manifesto Implementation Plan. Yeah, you have a responsible government because you put us there. So there's no way how we cannot address your concerns in a very programmatic manner. So there is that one, inclusive then of the Procurement Act. The Procurement Act has something called Code of Good Practice, and that is to promote local content. Again, we are saying, why is it that the youth cannot supply, for example, to medical supplies, to education in terms of food, to everything else? The money is there. I do not know if it goes to one person and that one person is not willing to employ others, but we are going to discuss during this evening. Once again, I will not finish. Thank you, Chair.
Yo. I think capacity is here. Indeed. The understanding of the budget, tells, I think from the explanation of our dear mother, empowerment that we are talking about is through training and also through opportunities in the economics stream, obviously. Where we have our business young people will obviously penetrate that industry. And I'm so much excited to hear that national youth development fund is going to be established. That is obviously going to assist our young people. I think before I move on to Dr. Comrade Congo, now Honorable is indicating that indeed young people are included in this budget when it comes to the socio-economic advancement. Now, a young person deep in Arab, of Karas region, a young person in Kapako, a young person in Onghuwo, we went to all those areas during our campaign. Deep in Oshkoto region, Omashete, those are all deep areas where our young people are. How can these young people get to have access to the budget information the way we have it tonight here? Here we are in Windhoek, the capital city. We have access to understand the budget. How do our young people, the remote areas, what techniques do we have as young people of SWAPO Party to ensure that every young person understands how they benefit from the budget, what they are benefiting from the budget, and in fact, how do they keep government accountable on this aspect of the budget?
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Venom. I think I was in Pongo the other weekend because I promised them that when we were campaigning, I promised that I will go back to celebrate. And I went back during their independence celebration. What I said to them is, hold us accountable. And it's exactly the word that we are being asked here. Hold us accountable, everybody, whether you are at Onghuwo, whether you are at Kachi, whether you are in Varambat, hold us accountable. This means, through our structure as SWAPO Party and SWAPO Party Youth League, you can organize a meeting and call the Prime Minister here. Say, Comrade Prime Minister, we want to hear how does Onghuwo benefit from this budget? Call the minister here. They are all on the SWAPO ticket. They did not apply. We did not apply to be here. You put us here. Ask the minister here and say, our clinic does not have medicine. Ask her to come and tell you why the medicines are not there. Even if you find that maybe there is no medicine, call her. Our phone must be 24/7. I think the question is that as young people, we must organize ourselves and hold our leaders accountable. Call them. Even at Totina there, where there are no toilet, call us to come there. If you are not going there, leaders, if you are not going there, you know the punishment, definitely. So unapologetically, young people and everybody, ask your leaders what is in for you. At your village, we must come. I was even saying, when the Prime Minister goes there, Other people must not come now that, no, you are a regional governor. I'm not now talking to, no, I must follow. Let the people go and tell the prime minister what the governor does not want to hear, or what the regional council does not want to hear. So I think that will be the question that we need to introspect ourselves. Now, while you give me a chance, I must also say this. Now that we know that there is all this money that are in the budget, the question is now again, is at your village, at your Njabayongalu, I'm copying your village now, to organize yourself now and see. Now that I know, I was speaking some of the road that I know when I was campaigning in Oshikoto. Now that I know Onyati Onkumbula Road will be tired. Now you ask yourself along that corridor and say, how do I then benefit from here? I like also what the Minister of Work was saying, to say, when now the contractors are coming at the village, they are now mandated to make sure that 60% of people must be from that village. Now, as young people, we must now strategically position ourselves and say, if there is a road here to be constructed, I must position myself to benefit. If you are a business person, and I like what Doctor was, I don't know whether pitting or social, or Facebooking, to say, I think we must ask ourselves questions. And I think it's a very vital question to ask ourselves, to say, now, when the budget speak about million to pharmaceutical plant, how strategically are we positioning? How many of us who produce Panado? How many of us who produce pen? Because government obviously will buy pen. How many of us produce textbook? Because obviously government will come and buy the textbook. So long as, my fellow young people, these things are coming from the other side, the budget will create employment on the other side. That is now between me and you to ask ourselves those questions. Thank you, Comrade Ben.
Very good. Local content, the local content policy that I think Honorable has spoken about. Thank you very much. Honorable Dr. Luvindao, you know, as much as we are talking about the budget, creating opportunities for young people in terms of them getting opportunities to get into the economic stream, we still have challenges of long waiting times, you know, medicine shortages, and some poor services, you know, delivery that is obviously affecting us as young people when it comes to healthcare. You know, how is the ministry addressing these issues, looking at the current budget allocation? Have we given you enough money? Will the money resolve these challenges that we young people are facing?
Thank you so much for the question. I see a nurse here. I see she's the only one in uniform here that I see. I'm sure there are a lot of other people here. I will get to why I'm highlighting that now. Thank you for the question. I want to first start off by saying something. My honorable, my sister, Minister of Finance, took 2 minutes to just speak outside of the question. So allow me to take 1 minute. So it's very interesting when we talk about the budget, and the reason for that is because I was talking to a friend of mine and I was saying there are a lot of misinformed people, and they take chance because a lot of people don't read, and so they create a whole big deal about the fact that, oh, you're not doing anything. But if you take time to just read and you respond to them, it silences them. Because a lot of the times people are not actually taking the time to understand if the ministry is giving $12.2 billion, you know, if we are getting that for healthcare, what exactly does that mean? And I've noticed there are a lot of uninformed debates taking place where people don't really understand. And based on that, I also just want to add something very important, because a lot of the times there's a tendency to be very self-righteous. You know, no, more money should be allocated to healthcare. From where? From where? You know, the minister just spoke now and she said something very important. She said that a part of the budget is already being allocated towards servicing loans. But yet we are the same people saying, no, more money must be allocated, more money. And I agree with you. I agree with you, more money should be allocated. But that is the reason why strategically young people have been placed in these positions to come up with creative solutions. So the budget itself might not necessarily meet 100% what we want. That's true, we agree. And I think I was saying it in Parliament the other time, I think we're so used to people defending themselves. And I'm not here to defend and say, no, the ministry has done all it can regarding the healthcare in Namibia. What I am saying is we recognize that there are deficiencies, that we agree. But the reason why I am there, the reason why our Honorable Deputy Minister is there, the reason why our Minister of ICT is there, so that we can come up with solutions to these problems with what we have. Because it's the same people that later on complain and say, no, you're taking too much debt. So what do you want, really? I mean, so ultimately, now moving to answer your question, let's start firstly with the customer service, which is a very big problem, and I recognize that. And I'm not covering up for anything, please get me right. Our job is to make sure that we get on the ground and we address these problems for what they are. And a lot of these problems, mind you, because sometimes, like I said, the debates are uninformed. Because you have people that will say, yeah, but you know, customer service is such a problem. Throwing more money at a problem, some problems, it doesn't solve the problem. If we need to address an inherent problem whereby nurses and doctors have a behavior problem, then let's do that. Throwing more money is not going to solve your customer service problem. If we need to go into, right? So if I need to go into, this coming weekend, I'll be in Kamanyab. The next weekend, I'll be in Oshakati. Previously, when I started, I was at Katutura Health Center. And yes, many people weren't happy about that. But mind you, the notion there is to say that there are inherent problems that we need to address. Those problems are not going to be solved by throwing more money at the problem. Because trust me, some of these problems, even if you gave me $30 billion for healthcare, I still would not solve them with that money. There are things we need to address from the root up. And one of those solutions is, number one, the Ministry of Health in March, before I started, they launched the Customer Service Charter. A lot of people are not aware of the Customer Service Charter. And in that Customer Service Charter states that when you go to an intermediate hospital, you cannot wait for more than 2 to 3 hours to see a doctor. I don't know how many of you know that. If you go to a clinic or a health center, you cannot wait for more than 2 to 3 hours to see a doctor. It's not anything, it's the ministry that is committed to that. Now, when I first joined office, I looked at that and I said, my goodness, what have we committed to? But then later on, I said, but this is good. We need to have something to hold ourselves accountable to, right? And it starts from there, because what we are saying is we're not okay with the status quo. We know that work must be done. We know that work must be done when it comes to customer service. And that is why we're introducing these things, to hold ourselves accountable. Now, let me come to the long waiting queues and how that ties into the budget. I was talking to somebody and I said, we should not let people make us believe that the SWAPO manifesto is just dreams that will never be attained. Now, the reason I say that is because what we are meant to do is we are meant to start from the vision and work forward. But a lot of people are making us believe, no, but you should start with the budget and work forward. But what kind of prosperous country are we then working towards? The goal is for us to have a dream that is so big and that doesn't make sense. And then we say, okay, fine, now we can find ways to achieve this. And so I very much support the budget. Let me just say that, because in my maiden speech, I did not have time to say that. My sister, I very much support the budget. And the reason for that is because part of the reason why I have been hired, although new to the structure and everything else, part of the reason I have been hired is to come up with creative solutions to solve the problems of Namibians in 2025. And we cannot continue to hide behind, no, but the budget is not enough. You said something important. You said, do you have enough money? At the end of the day, I will be held accountable by the Youth League, by the entire SWAPO, by the entire country, not because of the budget, but because of what the mandate was. And I cannot then say, no, but we didn't have enough money. That's not a good enough excuse. And so to answer the final part, I know you're looking at me, time's up. The long lines, you see, there are ways to solve that. When I took office, one of the first things I said is, I'm giving the office, and I know it didn't make me very favorable in the office at that time because my executive team were like, oh, this doctor is just coming here, with orders. And I said, but it's important. And when I took office, I gave 30 days for the finalization of the telemedicine legislation. Why? And I want you to understand very importantly, one of the things I spoke to my deputy executive director about yesterday was that I think we're looking at this whole thing to say, yes, but in order to solve the problem of the long queues, we need more doctors and more nurses. Which Yes. Well, yeah, I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes. Yes. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So answering your question, to summarize, thank you very much for that. And yes, nutrition is very important. It is very important. Yes. And so solving some of those issues requires a different and innovative approach. And key to that, you see today, what we were doing today is where I'm coming from actually right now. We're coming from the Windhoek District Hospital site. And there we started the works. Before I came here, our Right Honorable Prime Minister was talking about being on the ground. And before we came here, we were at the Windhoek District Hospital, and we've started the actual construction. And the reason for this, the reason for starting the construction of these electrical services, water, sewage, all these things, mind you, when we were there, one of the things that my ED said, he said to the people, he said, one of the commitments that he and I have taken is that these services, the people, the unskilled workforce, we want them to come from Havana. And so that's why I'm saying, be very careful of people that are misinformed and that are not reading, coming to make conclusions about a budget because they are trying to sidetrack you. That's very important, because we have a lot of people trying to sidetrack us from the good work that is being done. And I conclude with this. I said it before, and at that time I was talking about the Ministry of Health, because there's been a lot of negativity around the Ministry of Health in Namibia. And I say it again to reiterate the fact that a lot of the times, when we do that, it's a very dangerous notion, because we create the notion that the nurses, and that's why I started by highlighting her, that these people, that all of us whose parents are nurses, they're not doing anything. Your mothers that sacrificed, they didn't do anything. That's a very dangerous notion. And once again, it is a very uninformed notion. So yes, we understand there is work to be done. But please do not let that take away from the fact that we have done a lot of work and we continue to do work. And yes, the budget does not solve all our problems. However, it is the starting point, and we look forward towards seeing that through. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Doctor. That basically means that the money is not an issue, right? We just need to organize ourselves. We just need strategies to them being in place, and then we move, okay? And obviously, our lady there is positioning herself. Hey, guys, such platforms, you must use them. Positioning yourself, salute you, my camarada. Now, I want us to go to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. All along, Honorable Njikiti has been talking about we are striving for youth empowerment, rural development. From where? From Okangwati to Arwab. From Arwab to in all 121 constituencies. Now, now that has been the advocacy that is started long back, that have actually seen and produced the young people, as you've seen us now, being deployed at the government as young people. Now, however, Doctor, you are now at the accountability desk to make sure that indeed government is doing what it's supposed to do. Now, what mechanisms do we have in place to hold the public officials accountable for delivery of youth-centered services and initiatives? As mentioned by our honorable ministers here, they are promising to us everything is in good track. Now, what mechanisms do we have to ensure that what they are saying here and what is being said everywhere about youth-centered initiatives are indeed implemented? My doctor.
Yeah, I'm a query. Thank you very much, Comrade Moderator, product of the youth. I want each one of you to give yourself a round of applause. I want each of you to give the Swapo Party Youth League and the leadership a round of applause. Comrade Moderator, Comrade Leadership of the Youth League here present, including the young lady who is for finance, the counterpart of finance. You have no idea how happy I am. And I was sharing it with the secretary here. You see, the journey of the Youth League has been long. The journey of the Youth League of actually saying things that are not comfortable on the bread and butter issues. And when I see what I see, and when I hear what I hear, I am very happy. And this happiness, we must attribute it to our president, the first female president of the Republic of Namibia. She has listened and she has delivered. So when I listen to all these nice things, including top cherry what, because there was a time in the Youth League, we took a deliberate decision of polytainment. And we said there will be no rally without a musician performing there, whose musician also speaks about the issues that affect young people. That's who come Blaze. She's a pioneer, eh? Yes, she's from Wolfish. Yes. So you didn't know. So it turns out I'm not a Gweri after all. So I have a question to answer on accountability. Now, why did I stand? Because there was a time we were all over talking and talking and talking. We even camped where Samora Machel, yeah, you see, she's the leader of Samora Machel there. We're camping there, we're around the fire, making problems as the youth. Now, your question is, you were making all these problems, now the problems are with you. So accountability now is with us. And that's the point I was trying to make in Parliament, that the opportunity is now with our generation. We have no excuse whatsoever. We must deliver. So on these bread and butter issues, on the youth empowerment issues, on job creation as it pertains to young people, comrades, it's not just a lexicography of English any longer. Unemployment has a human face. And therefore, the one that is unemployed, you can speak all the English in the dictionary. It will not matter anything. So the accountability, Comrade Moderator, we have started. What you have seen the Office of the Prime Minister doing now is not summoning ministers to my office. It's me going to the ministers. Because we want to set a baseline. We want to speak to them. And you have not seen us covering what we are discussing behind closed doors. Because we are facing each other as comrades and speak truth to power. And real talk does not kill friendship. So in the sections, in the branches, in the districts, in the regions, in the structures of the party structures that are in the informal settlements, that are in the Kambashus, before elections, these are the comrades that made sure that SWAPO is elected and we become the majority party. So there must be no disconnect whatsoever. Where your voice ended with election, and apparently after election, your voice must not matter. No. Your voice is as strong as it was, as it is today, as it will be tomorrow. Now, what does that mean in terms of accountability, to answer the question of my comrade? So it means us. If you see the Ngurare you knew before being appointed is speaking other tongues, then this Ngurare is switched. Yes. It's the same thing. If we said youth empowerment yesterday, why should it change today? If we said informal settlement yesterday, why should it change today? We said rural development yesterday, why should it change today? We said what else? Genuine economic empowerment. So this is the conversation we are having behind closed doors. To say, Osho? Yes, that is the conversation of bread and butter. Yes, people are saying, no, no, no. You are prime minister now for everybody. It's not only SWAPO. It's fine. I understand. I hear you. But there is no law that says we must not listen to SWAPO. Because it is, after all, a SWAPO government. So the moment you hear me, when he calls me, I say, oh, Comrade Nakongo, you know this is now government, eh? Don't talk to me like that, eh? Yeah? Eh? Then something is wrong. So what am I saying in accountability, comrade? When we say we want young people to be provided opportunities, it means just that. The Bible says if your child asks of you a bread, you cannot give them a rock. Is that not in the Bible? Exactly. So in all 121 constituencies, 14 regions, we still need genuine economic empowerment. We need genuine economic empowerment in ensuring, because I remember there was a time we said, each ministry must have a youth desk to account how are we doing insofar as empowerment of young people is concerned. If you are Ministry X, what exactly have you done to empower young people? So that when elections come, we should not speak in the abstract. We should not speak in theories. Theories are good, but practice are better. So the informal settlement needs sanitation, not tomorrow, today. The informal settlement needs decent housing, not yesterday, but today. So we are now on that seat of delivery. Comrade Deputy Speaker is here. So what we speak in Parliament must not only be words that goes with the wind, we must implement it. So finally, from the allocated time, hold us accountable just like the Secretary has said. No village must be not passable. Because when we were campaigning, we went to every village. All the churches. So what is Prime Minister going to do? And I can announce it because we have been doing it. We used to camp in the villages. We were in Onehoni, Oshkunde constituency. We were in Falkras, we were in Korikas, we were in Berseba, we were in Pukiro. We didn't die. This prime minister is going to start camping in the villages. So we will go to those villages. We'll go to those villages, and when we find that there are amenities that are not extended in those villages, Prime Minister will not leave until a solution is found. And when Prime Minister finds that the people are sleeping in a hall, Prime Minister will sleep there because there were people sleeping there. And when Prime Minister finds that there is a hostel or a hospital where toilets are not working, Prime Minister will use that very same toilet. So if I die, why didn't they die? So what our president has said, she doesn't want work in progress. Hasho. Or in the pipeline. Is that not so? Is that not so? So there is no English of excuse anymore. The vocabulary of excuses are finished. And we can also not keep things under the carpet. The carpet is full, it's been 35 years. So therefore, our generation, we must not fail. We must deliver. And you, the pioneers, I see there are even pioneer leaders are here. There's that one there. Pioneer movement. Hold us accountable. If Topping Ngurare slap up duty, wake me up. That is what we did to the others. So keep us on our toes, because we must never fail the president. It is our duty to make sure she shines. If she shines, Namibia shines. Is that so?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Prime Minister, for that. No, you are now taking us back to that youth league time of the leadership. Thank you very much. Now, Top Cherry, my sister, look, you know, this conversation is becoming so juicy that we are so much, all of us included. What do you think should be part or included in the creative industry as interventions, as ideas to assist the creative industry? You know, we now know we have a budget. The Deputy Minister is here. You know, what do you think we should include, or activities that you think she's spoken up? I mean, you've announced here now that the NAMA award is going to be revived. What other activities, innovations do you think needs to be put through for the creative industry?
Well, again, like I said, I think we need a body of people that understand what it is when someone says a creative, what it is when someone says I'm a musician. Because when people hear Top Cherry, they just think Simoni Coco, but you have no idea that studio is very expensive. Studio is really very expensive. And the producer also is a creative entrepreneur that makes that Simoni Coco. And after that, you need to shoot a video so that the people can know that Simoni Coco is out. So I think even when the Honorable can one day take, because the Honorable is always wearing his sneakers, always looking like a youth. We love that. One day you take off, you go to the studios, you see what is it exactly when someone says they are a creative. And I understand during the campaigning, there was a lot of talk about a creative hub. But of course, after the elections, it has settled. I guess it's still coming. It's in the air. Yes, it's in the pipeline. Yes, yeah. Yes. So I'm hoping that after this, we are able, or I'm rather able to get a call from the honorable. Sorry, guys, I'm just a singer. Sorry. Yes. Yes. So the honorable is able to come and see what exactly it takes, because creativity is more than just entertainment. If supported properly by the government, we can give our input with the GDP of this country. And also, we've seen it, it's happening in Nigeria, in South Africa, exporting your artists. It is amazing. Because what is the reason that we have ambassadors in Germany, ambassadors in Nigeria, but they cannot say, look, send us 5 artists from Namibia to come to Ghana so that, yes, export us, export Namibian creators. I must be able to walk into the ambassador's office and say, sir, ma'am, this is me. I would really love to go to Nigeria, to go to America, and just show them that, because we are a Namibian product, show them this is what Namibia is, you know, because now, unfortunately, our whole youth is taken by Amapiano, which is not us, which is not Namibian, because also our radios, there is nothing an artist can do by going into a radio station and saying, guys, you are not playing our music. They will say, this is not your station, mama. This is not your station, you get? But if the government is able to implement laws that say strictly 80%, it should be local content. It should be. Yes, it should be. 90, thank you. 90%, my binary, we understand these things. It should be. Because also during the campaign, the mighty Swapo has shown us that they can make that call. We had Maporisa. Guys, we had Maporisa in Namibia making his Swapo. So there is nothing wrong with our government being able to call someone and say, listen, your vibe and our top cherry here, you guys can definitely do something. And the government backs us up by doing that. Yeah.
Yo, that is so deep. The creative industry to get an opportunity at the global trade. Because we are talking about this, our talents, that is our capacity that we must market to the global space. And it's even good, possibly the ambassadors might be here. They need to take up that initiative. They must market our talents and skills. Thank you very much, Top Cherry. Now, we are getting towards the end. However, Honorable Doctor, we are talking about local content. We are talking about the procurement processes. The procurement challenges are so much actually affecting young people in terms of, they can't get opportunities to penetrate, supplying services to their own hospitals, even the basics, right? Things are not so well when it comes to the procurement of healthcare services. What reforms or improvements is the ministry going to implement to strengthen the procurement processes and obviously reduce wastage? That we are talking about a Panado pill costing 700 when it's supposed to cost $10, right? Ending up the government spending so much, bring the basic needs that we need. Doctor.
Okay, thank you for the question. So I used this example when I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said that, you see, at the age of 35, as an adult, you are expected to have done certain things. You are expected to, most people probably have moved out of your house, probably married, probably with a child, maybe. Wow. I'll pretend I didn't hear that one. I'll pretend I didn't hear that one. I haven't even started with the first one, so I'll pretend I didn't hear that part. All right. So at the age of 35, I hope everyone is okay back there. Yeah.
Now, doctor wants to provide first aid already.
Nobody's injured. All right. So anyways, by the age of 35, we were expected to have accomplished certain things. And similarly, I'll answer your question very simple, straightforward. There are a lot of questions about procurement, particularly with healthcare. I've been quite the target, largely because there are a lot of interests when it comes to the Ministry of Health and Social Services. I'll be open about that much. So as I said, at the age of 35, you're expected to do certain things. One of the key things that I want to do, I am fully aware that we're not going to solve all the problems. I know that much. When we exit when I exit in 5 years' time, I don't expect that I would have solved all the problems. But one of the things that I really is on my heart is number one, the establishment of Namibia's own first pharmaceutical manufacturing plant. It is important because we need to start creating our own things. We need to start making our own drugs. We need to start making our own panado, what we're always made fun of about. We need to start creating our own. And that is a huge part of sustainability. So you see, when we talk about the procurement, we talk about tenders, we talk about all these things, it's easy to find short-term solutions, and that's good. I'm going to touch on that. But one of the most important things is we must become self-sustainable. We need to become self-reliable. We need to start creating our own. And what does that mean? Again, we spoke about jobs. We spoke about empowering the youth, empowering the young people. And that is one of the ways we do so, is because the next time, we don't want there to be another COVID or anything, but the next time something like that happens, we don't have to rely on foreign aid for vaccines. We don't have to rely on foreign aid to give us directives as to what they have and what they will give us, because we are creating our own and we are automatically becoming self-sufficient. That's the first part. Now, the second part is something probably that a lot of people will not want to hear, but it is the truth. So you see, a lot of the times when these opportunities are being given out, and this is not for everybody, it's not, and I must emphasize that, please don't get me wrong, the media is here. But we must make sure that when young people do get those tenders, that we live up to them. A big problem that we are facing, and I think a lot of the times, and let me speak on behalf of my ministry also to defend my ministry, because a lot of the times we badmouth the ministry and say, yes, but you are not providing. But do you know that one of the biggest problems we as a ministry have is that we give the tender, right? We give it to the companies because we are trying to empower, and then I'm getting a call from the Prime Minister saying that, no, but there's no medication here. And then I call my ED and they say, no, but the person hasn't delivered. That's true for certain. No. That is true for certain instances, mind you, and for that, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's good to have open, robust, transparent conversations. And from the other side of things, that's true for certain things. And I know when you talk about that, there's specific tenders you're talking about. Let's be honest, okay? There's specific tenders you're talking about. And that 100%, so we are talking the same language. So that must be transparent, it must be open, it must be fair game. That is important. But my only comment is when that fair game happens, we must hold ourselves accountable to deliver. There are a lot of tenders that we have awarded to this date that have not been delivered. That is important. That is important. No, let's talk about facts, right? Because we're here to have open conversations. So we can't argue blindly. Let's not argue blindly. Let's argue with facts. So I have the facts that say that, yes, for some tenders, we have to be much more transparent. We agree. So we're not opposing each other. We agree 100%. But on the other side of things, one of the problems, and let me give you some of the things that have been happening now, because we're having an open conversation, right? And we're saying, let's not argue blindly. So one of the factors there is to say that on the one part of things, we must resolve that issue because it must be fair game, right? And we must do due diligence to check on these companies, to say that, man, if the Ministry of Health is awarding a tender for ARVs, for example, it's just an example, right? If they're awarding a tender to ARVs and it is to a company called, you know, Meme Holding CC, we must do due diligence to ensure that, no, but who really owns this company? So that we agree, because now you're awarding a tender, and meanwhile, Luvendau's mother's brother-in-law's son owns the company. Even the chickens, somewhere there, right? So that we agree on 100%. We are speaking the same language. Due diligence must be done, number one, and transparency is important. Because what is stopping us from having a fully transparent procurement system from the beginning? Yes. From the expression of interest to say that, okay, this expression of interest has gone out, Luvendau Trading Enterprise has applied, Meme CC has applied, this person has applied. What is the reason Luvendau Trading Enterprise was chosen? That's also true. What did I have over that company? That's also true. So we agree on that 100%. And then I circle back again to my point, to say that once we do that, and we will keep ourselves accountable to do that. And I'm happy that these things are being brought up because, as the Right Honorable Prime Minister said, this is a platform to be held accountable. So we will be held accountable to that. My only ask is that when we are accountable to that, the people that tender, they meet the deadlines. Because it makes it very difficult for me to fight for, because you know what the resolve now is? People are saying, no, but don't even give them opportunities. Let's go directly to the supplier. And now Luvendau has to be there saying, no, but guys, we can't do that because it needs to be fair chance. But sometimes they have valid points to say, but Esperance, when we give these people opportunities, they're not delivering. When we ask them to deliver, it's the honest truth. When we ask them to, today I was at the Windhoek District Hospital, and what did I say there? I said in front of the media, and I said, thank you to our stakeholders. The contractor was there, and it is a local company. And I said it in front of the media, and I said, I want to hold you accountable in front of the country, because I have a timeline by which I must deliver this hospital. Later on, you start saying, no, we don't give people chances. All of those people are local people, mind you. So we're giving them a chance, but accountability must be had to say, but if we've given a certain timeline, let's meet those timelines. Because what does the Ministry of Health have to do? We have to now build a hospital in Kurenkuru. We have to upgrade the hospital in Katima. We have to build another hospital in Keetmanshoop. We have to build a hospital in Ondangwa, all these places. And when we know that we can trust the people, then we have a platform to say, but it works. Why are you not trusting the young people? So I hear you, I agree with you. We must do due diligence, we must vet. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But at the same time, let's hold each other accountable as well and have open conversations about delivering.
Good. Comrade Doctor, you know, the young people, they've been following, obviously. And yeah, we'll give a chance for engagements. We are ending the expression from the panelist. But what I want to say here, I think, Comrade Doctor, when you have heard people, you know, the young people, they are indicating that things are not okay when it comes to the procurement under the Ministry of Health. And everywhere in this context. And what the young people are saying is, we are expecting a change. We are expecting a change. We do not want at the end of the day our health facilities to obviously go down, that we even go to the hospitals and you don't find medications. That is because some individuals are benefiting and milking the coffers of government, that we are not able to supply services. That is the takeaway home. And we are trusting that in you to make sure that the procurement in the health ministry is well reviewed, reformed, and it must be in the best interest of providing services to all the people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just one last statement from Memeshi Maliwa before I open up the round of questions. And I would want you to prepare yourselves, and then obviously the Right Honorable Prime Minister would close later. Now, you know, Honorable Shafuda, is the same problem that the young people are expressing here, the aspect of transparency. What safeguards are in place to ensure that we have transparency that prevents the misuse of funds allocated more especially to the youth-focused programs? The safeguards on the transparency. In short, ma'am, before we open up the chance for questions.
Thank you so much, moderator. I'm sitting closer to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. And it's because accountability, we all have to account on what we do, on what we have promised to the Right Honorable Prime Minister's office. Now, specifically that we have identified projects or initiatives that will benefit the youth. We are going to have a database. We are going to have a database per region. In fact, to the extent that even the names of those ones who have benefited, whether it's an individual or companies, preferably companies, so that we can cater for many people. We are going to have a database that can be shared with anyone, so that we give feedback. That's transparency. We are not hiding anything, including because we are in categories, right, as the youth. Yeah? You have the ones who have not just started, but you do not want them to be left behind. They should be starting with their small amounts, they graduate, and talking about the database will be there. You knock at any time. I want to see how many jobs have been created in Ministry of X. That ministry should not hide, because it is our responsibility to commit to what we have said. I pledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Shimalu. Now, ladies and gentlemen, fellow youth, I know, can you hear me? I know, now, yes, hold up. This is quite interesting. So much interesting that we are so much interested in the discussions of socio-economic advancement of our country. Now, I will make sure that I give everyone a chance. Now, yes, can we do this? Let's do this. For the best interest of all of us, I would give each person just an opportunity to ask one question. I think it will benefit. That will be the best. Just one question. Yes, and then now the mic. Who is giving the mic? Yo. Okay, now let's do this. Let's do this. No salutations, straight to the question, right? Okay, we are in the political hall here. Now, we are going to do this. Okay, I would take the lady here. Just stand up, madam. Okay, then I would want to take, I would want to give, to appoint 5 for now, 5 quickly for now. The lady here, I see the gentleman at the back. Gentleman at the back. Yo. These are SWAPO cadres. I know they're in the structures. Now they are trying to. The gentleman at the back, in a white t-shirt, yes, in a white shirt. Okay. Now, yes, the lady here in black. The lady in black. I'll give you a chance. One, gentleman there. The lady in black. The SWAPO flag there. 4. Then the political student here. 5 for now. Okay. One question. Let's do it faster and straight to the point. Yes. Let's give each other the needed attention. Okay. Silence in the house. Yes, please.
Honorable Minister of Health and Social Services, given the acute shortage of mental health infrastructure in Namibia, with only 2 dedicated facilities in Windhoek and Oshakati, both operating beyond capacity, where patients have to be transferred, some from Oshakati to Windhoek, or some from Keetmans to Windhoek, and vice versa, to access mental health facilities for admission especially, and considering the alarming rate of mental health or rather illnesses affecting us all as Namibian people, because in as much as mental health awareness is being prioritized, it is not doing us justice as Namibian people in our communities. It is not doing us, no, it's just one question. Don't worry, I'm coming. It is not doing us justice as Namibian, it is not doing us justice as Namibian people. Now I'm lost. Okay. It is a question. It is not doing us justice.
Okay, let's give her a chance, please.
Because because the people directly affected do not have access to these facilities due to finances or long distance travels. So, Honorable Minister, what specific plans does the ministry have, if there are any, to expand mental health services across the country? And how will the recently approved budget to healthcare address the urgent need for additional mental health facilities, cares, and trained personnel in Namibia?
Very good. Mental health facilities. Yes, the gentleman at the back.
Thank you very much. My name is Comrade Antonio from Tobias Hainyeko. First of all, I want to congratulate Tobias Hainyeko for this wonderful engagement.
Okay, straightforward, straight to the question. Politicians, eh?
My question goes to Honorable Minister of Health. The deployment of health extension worker is very slow, and this leads to poor customer service. You mentioned something like customer service. Of course, I just want to give a scenario. When you go to Pick and Pay and you find 2 tellers only, of course you get frustrated and you might end up losing manners and it will end up, not good. So what measure will the ministry take to ensure clinic and healthy outreach in former area like Okahanja Park, One Nation, Krimajalo, and Babylon, to mention few, are adequately supported? We only have 2 clinics in Tobias Hainyeko, which is Okuyongava and Bahuriri. Can one of these clinics be upgraded to a full health center with at least 8 doctors?
That's a very straightforward one. Okay. 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 The gentleman there, and then you bring the mic at the corner here. Yes. Camarada. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening, comrades. My name is Comrade Gabriel Gogile. Hello.
Yeah. You are protected.
Am I audible? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Comrade Gabriel Gogile. I'm the former branch secretary for UNAM branch secretary.
Question.
And the current regional executive committee member for Kunene region.
Let's go straight to question.
I came all the way from Kunene region with a point. Thank you. So my point, coming back to my point, my question is directed to the Minister of Sports and Youth. It's in relation with the issue at National Youth Council. We have a very, very burning issue at National Youth Council whereby there is issues of leadership instability there, which is affecting the majority and the minority, especially within the Kunene region, or where I'm coming from, Kunene region. National Youth Council, let me be specific, and this issue is affecting me directly. We were trained online for base camp and in partnership with FNB, something like that, whereby we are being trained online to be upcoming business leaders. But it seems the National Youth Council leadership instability is suffocating us on the ground because we are waiting for funds. It seems like there is no funding coming through from the government because of the issues at National Youth Council. And in specific, my program that I ventured into, which I was trained, was including, because I'm speaking on behalf of myself and the majority, agriculture, which you, Comrade Vellum, is very keen, and Comrade Ephraim is also very keen of that, agriculture, green scheme projects. So please, Comrade Balotti, can you please answer this question? How are we going to ensure that National Youth Council is going to be effective?
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. However, I also want to, I think, Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to guide the House that the questions and the discussion should speak to the discussions here. Yes, I do much respect that, and I acknowledge the fact that our comrade came all the way from Kunene region with that issue. I want us so that we can have a guided discussion. I respect that they are in the House, but for us to have a guided discussion, let us obviously concentrate on the discussion with the panelists here, and we are asking the panelists here, okay? However, I think Balotti, Honorable here, will touch on that later, okay? Now, yes, my sister there.
Okay.
Okay, I will do this. I'll give you a chance as well.
Yes,
I'll
thank you.
give you a chance.
Thank you, Honorable.
Yes.
Okay, mine is regarding, I want to touch on the youth skills training. Okay, one thing about us, we always have problems, but one thing about us, we also have solutions. So I want to suggest, because I was looking at the youth skills training, talking about the entry requirement for conventional technical vocational training and tertiary education institutions. I want to come and address the graduates. There's a gap there between when you come from the university to look for a job there. There's a huge gap. There's a root cause of where we are not able to getting into a basic, just starting with your career. It doesn't matter whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a doctor. I know the nurses have something like that, but not all of us. So instead of just concentrating on the center, the training centers, and I know they have mentioned such as Franz Dimbara's youth center and stuff, how about we also use the ministries as centers? For example, we can use international relation ministry as our center, whereby we can also employ a number of students to start their internships in there, not just unpaid. They should also be paid. So that's the only way we can make sure that our experiences, because we are here suffering with 5 years of experience. How am I supposed to work, being as 5 years of experience coming from university, obtaining 4 years of experience, and it's 10 years. So, thank you.
Okay.
So, my suggestion will be the ministry, because now we're only relying on private sectors. We also want the ministry to be the centers where they will also employ 50, 100 students to start in the ministry so we can start our careers. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you very much. That's a very good suggestion. Okay, now, yes, my sister here, you had asked, yes? Where's the mic? Where's the mic? No, I'll come to you. I'll come to you, my sister. Yeah, I'll come to you. Okay, now I want attention in the house. Remember, we are also live, right? And I think there's also a complaint coming from those that are following us online that I think the background noise is so much disruptive. So please, let's organize ourselves. Yes, the university student here. Let's give her a chance. It's okay. Yes, start.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Paulina Osiko, and my question is with regards to youth unemployment. We see that youth unemployment continues to rise. It has been a topic spoken every day and nothing is being done. We see that majority of the youth that are affected, that are actually unemployed, are those that are not skilled, those that do not actually hold qualifications, you know. And now my question is, with the jobs that were promised that will be created, are these jobs only for skilled individuals, for those with qualifications, or are you guys also looking out to those that are unskilled? Because majority of them are at their houses, they are unskilled, they do not have jobs, they are seated at their TV saying government is going to provide a job for me. We also need to be realistic. We also need to educate young people out there that if you are not skilled, then you're not going to get the job. Try and do something, get into schools, vocational trainings, so that you are able to equip yourself. And to Honorable Dino Balotti that is present here today, I would also like to pose a question with regards to the overproduction issue. We see that universities, colleges, even I don't know, schools that are not recognized by NQA, they are producing nurses, teachers, but do we actually have schools that will employ these people? Because this is also going to contribute to youth unemployment in the future. Thank you.
Very good. Now, no. We are now done with the first round. Now, I want to give a chance to the honorables to respond. One, the Honorable Minister of Health will start with the two questions. The first one was asked here on the mental health. The second one was asked on the other side with regards to increasing and advancing our clinics with full-time medical doctors. Okay, I think those were the two questions on health. Then there's a question there of Honorable Balotti, who will attend to it. Here was a suggestion that was placed to say that we must at least use our institutions that we already have as centers. What matters is the programs. We just need to, come up with the programs that should take place at those centers. That one, plus then the question of unemployment. I think that one, our Right Honorable Prime Minister might touch on it, on the unemployment in terms of the skilled and the non-skilled. Possibly, Right Honorable Prime Minister will handle that one. Now, Honorable.
Thank you. So I'll answer the questions very quickly. I know we don't have a lot of time. In summary, with a budget of about $12.2 billion, about 11.4 billion has been allocated to operational costs. Some of those operational costs are upgrading facilities from clinics, to healthcare centers. I have had a discussion with my head of primary health care, and we've had a conversation about, so what I've asked her to do for me is to create a list of all our clinics that we have throughout the entire country, as well as what is needed for each of those clinics. So this is in a memo that went out last week to my head of primary health care, to create a list of the clinics, and then to create, because you must also remember that the clinics are different. Some are a little bit more advanced than others, and so the needs are different. And so the directive was to create a list and then to write for me next to those to say, okay, for this particular clinic, this is what is needed. Because when we upgrade from a clinic to a healthcare center, there are equipment needs, there are construction needs, there are human resource or human capital needs. And so based on those three things, to compile that list, to do a list basically speaking towards what we need to do to upgrade from clinic to healthcare facility for each of the clinics. But then also, when I took to office, one of the key things that I noted was there were a lot of, because sometimes we try and do things on our own, there were a lot of congratulatory messages and inquiries for partnership from the private sector. That got to my desk. And so the goal there is to make use of, you see, like I said, we have to be creative. The budget alone might not necessarily solve to say all these clinics must be upgraded to healthcare centers, but that's where I now need to be creative and go around groveling to make sure that I can plead my case as to why it is important for these clinics to be converted. And so we have a list of people that we have already approached in terms of those conversions, and at this point in time, putting together what exactly we need so that when we approach a private entity, we can say, listen, these are the needs of these facilities. If you can partner with us to do 5 facilities at a time, we can then make sure that, yes, we're not solving everything together, but we're tackling it one piece at after time. So yes, there is a plan. Yes, it is part of our active budget. And yes, it is crucial because when we talk about decentralization of healthcare services, we need to make sure that we can cater for people. If there's a doctor at this healthcare center, it reduces the burden on Katutura State Hospital. It reduces the burden on Windhoek District Hospital. And so you are 100% right. It is within our plans. But I want to end off with this. If you also have suggestions, because I think a lot of the times we try and solve problems without leaving the door open to young people that might have suggestions that are a different approach, but get to the same end outcome. And so the door is open. If you have other suggestions, I'm here. And then mental health. I'll answer this one very simple, very easily. The reason I say that is because my maiden speech was cut. So it was, it actually, I didn't get to everything that I was supposed to get to. One of the key things I wanted to speak about there is the World Health Organization defines health as a state of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And when we construct hospitals, and it's one of the things I spoke to the ED about, I said, I want to see the hospital designs, because every time we construct a hospital without an adjacent mental health facility, we are pushing forward the notion that mental health is not important. So yes, you are right. We need to add the facilities, but we also need to keep in mind that with these facilities, we are building a mental health facility must be there in the first place. And so for those ones, yes, we are working on upgrading them. I've worked in the facilities. So I've worked at Ward 16. I've worked at Ward 16 in Oshakati. For those of you that don't know, it's the mental health facility there. I've worked as well at the mental health facility here. So I've been on the ground. I've experienced it. It is overloaded, and there is absolutely no reason why it should be the case. So number one is looking at firstly infrastructure. So within the budget now, we are building, we came across a bit of an issue because we were trying to set up one there in the Zambezi region, and I was told that there was a lot of cultural beliefs that were limiting factor, where people were saying that if we build a hospital there, we are bringing their mental health problems. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done also culturally to destigmatize it. But I would like to assure you that we have the same mind on that. And apart from upgrading the facilities to include mental health facilities, it is important that you also hold us accountable. When that Windhoek District Hospital is up and running, there must be an adjacent facility. Sometimes it's not full-on mental health Ward 16 facilities. It's as simple as a holding room, consultation rooms, etc., where you can have therapy and all. So I understand, we understand the need, and you are 100% right. We do need to look at that.
Thank you very much. I'm standing because I'm vertically challenged. Unemployment affects the tall and the short, the skilled and the unskilled. So the answer to my eloquent young sister there is to both. The jobs creation, you see, you will find that there are some people that are just having that natural aptitude. They might not have gone to any school, but there's a certain job they can do. And therefore, in that whole scheme of trying to empower them, we must look at what one can do. I was not too long ago, I was in the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform. And then COVID struck. Then we just found out that there were about 223 schools that did not have water. They were constructed, tenders were given, procurement was procurement, and the one that won the tender got what they got. The banks got rich, but those schools did not have toilets. So what happened to the specifications? So we were then tasked to ensure that every or each of the schools is connected to the water so that you can be able to connect it for sanitation. Now, in that instance, For those that will have to dig, for those that will have to lay the pipes and so forth, or wheelbarrows and so forth, we can't ask them, what is your skill? Can we? But there are others who must require the skills. So sometimes, therefore, in these things, we must do what we call common sense economic empowerment. Yeah. Yeah. So we must look at the situation and respond to a particular situation, tailor-made to the challenge that you see. So therefore, my young friend, ideally, we would want to see in every household in Namibia, there ought to be somebody who is bringing in an income, skilled or unskilled. That is the aspiration. So we have given a certain amount of jobs that will be created. I think in the job market, there's some, they call it permanent, what did you say? Some are permanent jobs, some are temporal jobs, some are what? Structural jobs, some are yeah, the English will continue. Yeah, what kind of jobs and so forth. But at the end of it all, is really to empower and amplify the dignity of every Namibian. So when we do that, then we are able to say every Namibian is benefiting from the resources of Namibia, from the fruit of independence. By the way, when I listen to you speaking here, the English is higher grade, the passion and energy is, and the sort of engagement that I hear here, even Comrade Minister of Finance, I think she's saying that, man, this National Development Fund, I think it is going to be utilized properly. Now, this proper utilization of the National Development Fund, I really want to request each one of us here. When NYC, we are fighting amongst each other, is delaying implementation of what government has provided. So we will be given all these things, but if we are not honest, if we are not working well together, it will end up us holding each other on the throats. So if I were to pray to God, I know there are some who are pastors here, I want to pray that the Holy Spirit will go over all young people so that you can all be united and so that you can move in one direction insofar as empowerment is concerned. Because otherwise, all these things that we are mentioning here, the same for creative industry, unity is paramount. But I also must say, as somebody with a topi now, I'm now a topi, no longer a youth, I can give this advice, and I was saying it when we were in there. So it is not true that only the connected must benefit. Verstanos Mekar. Yeah? It's not to say, oh, you know who's Prime Minister? It's my friend. Okay, so my friends benefit, my non-friends do not benefit. That is not what government wants to see. All of us must benefit. Equally, if you are given an opportunity, don't go and corrupt Prime Minister and think that Prime Minister is somehow corruptible. You will buy us. I think none of us here can be bought. Because if we are bought, we are betraying SWAPO, we are betraying the president, we are betraying the electorate. So therefore, to those of you that would be contractors, please be honest, work hard, eat from the sweat of your labor. Yeah, don't make shortcuts, because it is those shortcuts that have put us in some problems as a party and as a government. So I'm only giving this advice. I didn't mention names, too. I'm just giving a general comment. Because in the constitution of SWAPO, it says a member has a right, but also has an obligation. One of that obligation is to be honest and sincere at all material times. So let Mekulus feel they are happy. Let Tatekulus feel they are happy. As Topis, we must look at you and say, the future is in the right hands. Hasho? Yaro? Oh, apprenticeship, yes. Apprenticeship, yeah, no, apprenticeship is covered. Apprenticeship, we have Osho. Yes, no, you are covered. Apprenticeship, that one, you can be rest assured, God is our witness, that one is covered. And it is a letter that went to all ministries, all OMAS. It is now for the Youth League to make sure that we are not sleeping on duty. All the youth, there was somebody who said 20 or so youth can be, yeah, internship, yes, yes, you are correct. 100% is budgeted for. It must just be as you have said. And we must minute her. What she has said is correct because the future is female. Thank you very much.
Now, just a quick one, Balotti. Balotti, I think you can answer that one just in short before I open up again for the second round. Okay.
I intentionally didn't sit over there. I sat over here, but I'm very happy to answer questions which are concerns. And so I think to the first lady, I think you were sitting over there, asking about the qualifications and the institutions. So my immediate understanding is that we have the NCHE, the Namibia Council of Higher Education. So that institution will accredit institutions of higher learning. And then we have the NQA, the Namibia Qualification Authority. And so with addition of MPC, the Planning Commission, to sort of guide in terms of oversaturation of certain qualifications to sort of meet the demands of the labor market. So should you be aware of any institution that's perhaps not registered, very happy to have that conversation offline. I think that's just fair. Now to my brother from Kunene, I didn't see you. Maybe you were right at the back. I think you're so excited because your team won the newspaper cup. Yeah. So I can use fancy English, but I'm guided by my prime minister. The case is currently sub judice, NYC. And so that fancy English means it's before the court. What I can tell you, and to anyone listening, meetings around NYC. We had a meeting last week with the Attorney General, which started at 7 p.m., finished closer to 11 p.m. on the same matter. So I can tell you that it's receiving urgent attention. Also, you spoke of base camp. There's an engagement on Thursday. I'll be there, so let's have that conversation there on Thursday at base camp. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's already past 9, right? Yeah, no, I do, and I'm going to give you a chance. You know, Doctor, you know, Comrade Ngurare, Comrade Nekongo, at a certain point, I feel also conflicted. Because the comrades that I see in front here are the same comrades that are going to vote. Comes the Congress of 2027. So I do not want to mess up with my voters as well. These are the comrades in the structures, so I must be very careful. So I want to give you a chance, right? I want to give you a chance. I've promised to give to the nutritionist. Okay, she'll be number 1. Yeah. Very good. Well guided by the leader here. I'll give everyone one question. We raise your questions, and then the panelists are going to take note of their questions. Okay? I'll give you everyone a chance. Can we also have this mic just to circulate there so that we finalize this issue? Okay? I like the fact that it's coming from the Prime Minister because he's ready to be with us here until late. Now, very good. Thank you, my sister. Please start quickly. Just one question, right? Yeah, no remarks, one question. Let's give you a chance.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. It's actually the first time we are having this in our country, so I'm very, very happy. Okay, my name is Sister B. Okay, I have a business called Tameka Restaurant, where we educate people about food. With the young people here, you want job, but you guys are so lazy. You should create your own job. We are only 3 millions. You need to travel and see how people are living. You can't just sit at home. It's very embarrassment. Okay, my question is to the Minister of Health. I'm so happy for you. As I said, I have Tameka Nutrition Restaurant. I'm the only one in Namibia who is having that. There's nobody with a nutrition restaurant.
Okay, straight to the question.
My question is, we have so many hospitals in Namibia. Let me talk about Katutura Hospital. Okay, let me talk about the one that they just inaugurated now, where people are sleeping there. You feel so bad. We talk about medication. Does medication work when the body doesn't have nutrients? No matter how much tablets you put in your body, the body cannot heal itself. The body needs food. To my people here, let's go to Stop and Shop. You have a school. Come and visit my school. It's my house. I turn it to a school.
Okay.
I teach people about food. No. Listen to my questions.
Yeah, I want you to be
okay. My
straightforward.
kids at my school, they bring porridge and spinach. So what I'm saying is, no matter how much you are educated, we are having graduates. As long as you are not healthy, it will not contribute to our country.
Straight to the question.
So my question is.
Yes.
I know you don't like food.
No. Straight to the question.
My question is, to our minister, I have a lot of graduates on nutrition. They are sitting at home. There's no nutritionist in Namibia. We only have dietitian. Dietitian said, don't eat this with this, but cook it like this.
What's the
So
question?
to my minister is like, I need just to fight for nutrition clinic in Namibia. Because as I said, we need to start producing food so that our body can be healthy.
Very good.
So that is actually my question.
Or nutritional clinics.
My nutritional
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, my sister there. Yeah. Now let's give them a chance. We'll come to all of you. Let's just be. Otherwise, I'll be cutting off. Right? Yes.
Good evening, my colleagues. I mean my comrades, especially my chief guest. My question is, why do some ministries don't pay interns? It is a rule that some interns.
Yeah.
Is it a rule that some ministries should not pay their interns? Especially some of them need transport money. And then for them, they pay their own.
Very good. Very good one. Straightforward question. Why should other ministries don't pay interns? Yes, gentlemen?
My question is very quick.
Yes. Make it quicker.
Just last week, we had graduates from Ketmansop, Katimamuro, and Northern regions. Among those graduates, we have graduates that could not get their qualification. Cabinet gave a directive that NASFA should cover these graduates. But as we speak now, the graduates of last year, September, were excluded from that directive. And those that graduated this year are still excluded. What empowerment then are we talking? If you are given a crown, but they are not giving you the jewels.
Thank you very much. My sister here. So graduates that have graduated, but they are not given their qualifications because they owe. Okay.
So to the Minister of Health, my question is, we have US aid that withdrew from funding Namibian programs, including ARVs and so forth. Also, that affected the employees, which we speak of registered nurses and other healthcare providers. As we speak, our rooms are locked up in the facilities. We cannot provide. Why? Because we do no longer have an employer, right? So now to the Minister of Health, what is that is put in place to ensure that instead of increasing now the high employment in Namibia, we decrease it with regards to this issue? As we speak, we have our room keys. All that is not there is an employer.
You have your room keys.
Yes, to the rooms, because most of us were dealing with sensitive issues. So the health, the clinic people cannot access our rooms due to the information that we deal with. It's
Okay.
too sensitive.
Okay. Very clear. Very important question. Okay. I want to see the hands. Now, okay, my brother here, and then the nurse, and then we move back. We will finish
Okay,
and then we come. You will get a chance. Let's be straightforward. My brother.
Yes, greetings to you all, and congratulations to all our honorable in the house. You deserve. My contribution is on. Operational budget visit, developmental budget. In a sense that there is so much that we can learn from the operational budget towards the development budget. Since the inception of the economy that could really perform very well since 2016, we streamline some of unnecessary costs. That's why most of our owners could be able to cover their overhead. But when it's coming to developmental budget, there is less being done on streamlining. Why do we need streamlining under developmental budget? Is because of the infrastructure deficit we face as a country. What are our statistics on infrastructure? I will give you an example. Currently, we have a backlog of 3,400 classrooms. We have 112 informal settlement. We have 300,000 backlog of housing. We have a backlog of referral district hospital, mental, and so on. In fact, that need rehabilitation and water. We are in our last series of NDP6. Technically, we only have 4 years left to 2030. Now, we have innovative ideas in terms of streamlining, in terms of time saving, documentation cost saving, construction cost saving, and value for money, because currently the government does not earning value for their money in project, because 90% of projects are not finished on time and within the budget. De-risk social project, because we have been convinced that social projects are not bankable, but they can be de-risked to attract other financial, because finance currently is overwhelmed. And we cannot be able to deliver the backlog we have and 40 abandoned projects we have in the country. So we have at hand. She said it correctly there when she said, some of, even if I can say the word itself, is being imposed in the end users. We deliver those infrastructure without consulting the end users. That's why there are gaps of mental health not incorporated. So my question is, solution were provided by the youth 30 professional in a space of engineering, architecture, quantity surveyor, in collaboration with all 14 regions, in collaboration with the Ministry of Works. And we say, let's start with the Ministry of Education. And this model, when it's working, we can duplicate it to other ministries. So currently the Ministry of Education is losing millions of dollars delivering infrastructure at the expenses. So now the question is to Right Honorable, what could be the point of departure in terms of, as you said it, the youth must create solution. We create solution, but it's not being implemented. These things have been created since 2016, and it was handed over, the donations of this streamlining under developmental budget 3 years ago. Up to date, this is just work in progress. In short, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much. A very good one. My sister, the next here, Madam Nessa, then we go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now some new hands are coming up. Okay. Okay, my sister, quick one. Ness,
Okay,
quick one.
good evening, everyone. I actually don't have a question. I just have suggestions and solutions dedicated to our Minister of Health and Social Services.
Give me
Dr.
2 only, maximum 2.
No,
Oh,
I've
you have a
typed
paper.
them, so I
Oh,
can just submit
wow.
to her.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's a submission. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Very good. Thank you very much, Dennis. Good. Yes, my sister there. I'll come to everyone. Where's the mic? Where's the mic? Where's the mic? Where's the mic? Okay. Now let's give her the attention. Yes.
Good evening to the panelists, and I would like. I've been observing from our Honorable Minister of Health on social media. She had something happening there in regards to digital health. I'm hearing from the Minister of Finance talking about databases. My concern is in the IT industry, especially in government. We are one of the underpaid disciplines in government. But ironically, we are one of those disciplines when you apply to university, you're expected to have these high grades. You need to write an entry test. But then when you enter into government, you are on grade 11, where even a morgue, what do you call them? A morgue assistant is getting paid higher than an IT technician. So when you talk about databases, who's going to man these databases? Who's going to man this infrastructure? You don't even have database administrators in government structure as we speak. So are you going to create that? We have people that have graduated in IT and they've been working mostly for NSA and Electoral Commission of Namibia, seasonal, bi-seasonal, 5 years. After 5 years, then the person has the hopes of getting a job. But then you have people that are like computer assistants that come into government structures and they are on grade 13, whereas a HR assistant who is only having grade 12 is getting paid higher than that person. How do you then fill this gap? Because for me, it's very puzzling.
Thank you very much. So deep. I think Honorable Emma Theophilus is here. She will also touch to that one. Yeah? Next.
Thank you.
Very good. It's
Okay,
quite a
thank you very
interesting
much. My
engagement.
question goes to Doctor. Doctor, my question is, UNAM wants body for medical students. So the question is, should we donate our body? What are your thoughts towards this? So if there,
Okay. Now finish, my sister. Quite interesting.
so if the
Yes.
answer is yes,
Okay.
if the answer no, how is the government budget under your ministry? UNAM, because UNAM is the government school. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yes, my sister there.
Good evening, comrades. Good evening, comrades. My name is Pamela Shimoshili. I'm a SCAR rep, and my question goes to our secretary for SPYL. My question is, what is Swapo Party Youth League strategy to ensure that the national youth policies and budget priorities don't remain centralized in Windhoek's boardrooms, but are translated into the services in our constituencies, especially informal areas where development is needed? Because I come from an area whereby we have 25 branches and we contribute a huge number to unemployment in Commerce region. That's my question. I thank you.
Thank you very much. My sister there.
Evening, everyone. I'm
Yeah.
from Katutira East, the heart of Swapo.
Okay.
So,
Question.
My question is to Dr. Minister of Health.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask nurses. It's a very sensitive topic, I know. Why do nurses not get uniform from August 26? Aren't we service providers like the police and also the nation? What do you call this one? National Correctional Facilities and also NDF, because now with that salary that you're getting, it's already a lot of, we are not able to buy uniforms every year because now not everybody has a slender body. Some of us are really thick. Let's say, I don't want to use offensive words. Uniform will not stay for 5 years. So I would want to ask the honorable minister to help us
Okay.
really
Very
with
good.
that.
On
Thank you.
uniforms. Yes, my brother there. Okay, no. I want to do this. I really want to be very fair. Now, I'm seeing after the gentleman with the mic, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands on this side. Then I'll move on this side. Yes, I really have to be. You have your floor. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, comrades. My question is to the doctor in front there. It's very simple. Doctor, thank you so much that you have acknowledged that we have long queues, especially in state hospitals. Personal, I'm in the medical field as well. Okay, to acknowledge that, but the question is, do you know why do we keep having these long queues? This issue has been pending for, say, today. Doctors to nurses communication in state hospital is very broad. To private hospital, private patients, because they are rich, they have access to call the doctors whenever they want, whenever they have pain. But these same doctors, when they are in state, they don't have and they don't give access to state patients to be addressed or to be informed directly. Why? Is there something the minister planning to do to close that gap? Because that gap is too huge. Patients don't have time. They don't have that. They don't feel that their problems are being heard. Patients only believe that the problems caused by the long queue is from the nurses, but it's not like that. Get this long queue all the time. They are waiting for the doctors. Who is holding these doctors accountable? Because we see them every day. You see them coming late at work. No one hold these doctors accountable. Please, doctor, since you are in this profession as well, it's very good. And thank that we have a young and academic doctor this time. So it should be addressed. Thank you so much.
The gentleman at the back there. Thank you very much. Yeah.
My question is going to Education Ministry.
Yeah.
The
The mic close to you, please.
right now, I'm asking on behalf of parents. Yeah. Most of our kids, especially the graduate in education, they go for interviews, but most of the time, they are competing people that are already employed. Someone just got employed yesterday, and tomorrow already that someone is applying for another vacancy somewhere. And imagine as a parent, maybe you save that money from your pension, and just to send your kid to go for job interview, and then someone who has been already employed is going for another interview, and again after getting another job there, maybe their friend maybe invite them somewhere, or maybe their girlfriend or so on. That person is going there again. So right now, as far as unemployment and youth is concerned, we have to address this issue.
Thank you very much, my brother. Very much deep. No. We have those 3 hands at the back. Then we come here. That's what I said earlier. And please bear with me, okay? 3 hands there at the back. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay. Let's be faster.
Okay, good evening. My question is regarding labor. Honorable Prime Minister and maybe the Minister of Finance will also assist on that one. We have got, I think last month, just at the beginning, the Minister of Works announced that there were close to 1,000 vacancies in one ministry. And now, if we would take those people just in one ministry, all the employees here find job there, possibly. But the challenge we have is that in other ministries now, maybe the finance minister will assist so that those other vacancies in that one was revealed. What about those ones which have not been revealed?
Very good.
And then...
Thank you. One question.
Yeah, it's still labor.
Thank you.
I'm finishing now.
Please.
In the commissioner, I can tell you, my brother, that a lot of the people sitting here, they have got lot of unfinished cases at the office of the labor commissioner. The reason for that is because they are understaffed. You cannot expect somebody to be able to give you an award. You can get fired today. You will wait 1 year for you to be told either you will be reinstated or you are not going to be reinstated. 1 year you are waiting for that award. So now, Honorable Minister of Finance, we are pleading from the workforce, that ministry, that building in Commercedal, make sure that there is employees in there to serve these people, because unhappy people.
Thank you very much. Swapo is for the workers. Swapo for the workers. Thank you. Yes, gentlemen. One, let's be fast. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Andreas Mashekele. I am a member of Tobias Hainyeko District Executive. My contribution is, firstly, I want to say that to the Ministry of Sports, that Tobias Hainyeko equally has all sorts of talent. Football, we have a football league with 20 teams, plus other netball played on the gravel. And these sports courts are played on an illegal land. However, this land is owned by trust. So now we made a research that Trasco Group owns around 41 hectares land available in Tobias Hainyeko. So my question is, when the ministry is coming to construct or improve sports facilities on the constituencies, will you negotiate for us this land? Will you buy for us this land, or what will happen?
Okay, very good one. Next, we only get one chance for one question, please. Yes, my sister.
Finally. Good evening. The name is Joanna Ipangelwa, and my question is on sustainability, addressed to the Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable Dino Balotti. I just want to ask, in light of the NAMAS collapse, and of course the announcement that was just made, it has inspired hope for so many aspiring creatives. I also saw Top Cherry smiling, of course, because you know she can get an award. I just want to find out, Honorable Balotti, what concrete measures are being proposed and by who? Who are the people that are being consulted to ensure that there is sustainability and longevity of the NAMAS, so that we don't experience another collapse? And also, how do we ensure that we have young people, aspiring people from constituencies such as Tobias Hainyeko and Kanja Park areas going to benefit from these initiatives?
Very interesting. Thank you very much, my sister. Now, the three gentlemen at the back.
Those funds, they will still be direct key ministries and institutions of the government. So there is a very challenging situation there, because the way this economic grant awarded, so it's quite based on discriminatory and who is who. And also the credit access to the youth that are owning SMEs, it's quite a challenge, because institutions that are entrusted by the government to make sure that there are loans given, they are more strictly with you. If you graduated, come up with a business, you go to the bank. For example, the development bank, to apply for a loan, these people, they will ponder. So kindly, the Ministry of Finance and the Prime Minister, kindly try to relook into the requirement of funding SMEs. and also the procedures of giving or awarding income private grants to the SMEs and the youth. Thank you.
Very much powerful. Thank you, my brother. The gentleman at the back. Yes. Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, so my question is, what is the Ministry of
Okay. Thank you very much. The brother there is manufacturing agents. Let's support him. Let's support him. Yes.
My name is Vistoline. My question to the Prime Minister, Honorable. The youth is something close to your heart, and today, as a citizen of the mighty Commerce and Best District, I request that you humbly take this district's homework to find out for the community that why is the Class A police station construction taking too long to be completed? We have local businesses and unemployed youth in our community standing here today and telling the team on today's stage that the community is ready to build and serve our community to bring promised Class A police station to.
My sister. So the clinic, I mean the police station, sorry. Where is that police station? Which side? It's somewhere. One Nation. Okay, thank you very much. One Nation. Now, yes, I see the 3 hands here. One, lady in green, then followed by my sister there. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Maria. I started manufacturing, but
school chalks.
School chalks.
Chalks.
Yes.
They are in there.
Yes.
You have produced them.
Yes. So.
Come on, come, bring them. Chalks, locally manufactured. Quite interesting. A round of applause. The Prime Minister is here. Come, go and deliver them. Go and show the Prime Minister that we are producing chalks here. Okay, give it to that one. Wow. Chalks.
Yes.
It's actually Namibia, proudly made in Namibia. It's written there, proudly made in Namibia. Chalks. No. The conversation is deep now. Yeah, give them. Yeah, just bring this one to him. Yeah. Wow.
I wanted so it's a long story, but my question was, since for supplying the chalks, I was advised that I'll have to go through the whole tendering process, which is ruler. I manufacture school chalks. My interest is to supply only the chalks. So how do we now get it out of the rest of the list and then?
Thank you, my
directly
sister.
put-
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are around producing, manufacturing. Oh, it's a lady for that matter. Eh? Yeah, proud. Oh,
Thank you.
Chalks.
Thank you.
wow.
I'm also a query. I don't know how to test the mic. On our manifesto, or mine is rather posed to our Right Honorable Prime Minister and then everyone else. Our manifesto on better living standards, quality health and social welfare. I haven't heard much about the girl child being mentioned here. So then my question goes, what measures, because our manifestos just say provide, develop, and all those kind of words, but we've got cases of GBVs going on and so forth. What measures have been taken to address the specific challenges that young women face in accessing education, such as teenage pregnancy and lack of sanitary products?
Very good.
To top it off, our parents are complaining of stationary lists.
Okay. Thank you very much. The lady here with the pink, and then the gentleman at the back, and then we move 1, 2. Now 2 hands. Yo.
Good evening, dear comrades.
Yes.
My name is Hilma Yambo. My question is directly to Honorable Jikiti. We are not yet, you get used to Prime Minister, so we used to call him Jikiti. In the Namibian House, when you talk about a developmental budget, when it comes to developmental budget, mostly it's talking about towns, but you forgot that our parents are from villages. And when you talk about the Namibian House, you say nobody must feel left out. Okay. But when you talk about this, you talk about the age of 18 to 35. What about the age of 36 to 59? What are these people benefiting?
Yeah.
And what about these children? There are a lot of children that are not going to school. And going back to villages, you have electrical volt that passing through some houses, but that house is still in dark. What development we are talking about
Thank you
when
very
it
much.
comes to villages?
Thank you very
You
much.
still go to Okongo or Naminda, by example, where people still have to climb on a tree to access network, poor that are not having electricity.
until 12 in the evening. And you know, most of the people, they don't want to work anymore in shops, even security companies. You had people demonstrating each and every day. What measurement is put in place to make sure these people who are working in these private sectors are treated fairly?
Very good. Condition of employment in the private sector. Yes, my sister on the scarf. Then can I have the hands here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we are done. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, good evening.
Yes.
My question is,
Yeah, we are listening, my sister.
okay, my question goes to our Honorable Prime Minister. Okay, it's based on our universities, some faculties, or probably like they do not give out will letters for students to go for internships. So what do we do in this case? Will you write a letter to our institutions for them to grant us those will letters for us to obtain the requirements or the base requirements for internship entry, or what is going to be done?
Okay. Thank you very much. Internship. Yeah, education is here. Baloti will be answering that one on the internship. Yes, my sister.
Good evening. I'm Malik Harujas. I just wanted to ask Ministry of Health. 31,000 vacant posts was advertised. It was not advertised, but it was said on the newspaper. Now, can you please look after the carers, the caregivers, so that at least they can even work at the hospitals? Because we are suffering now. We are really suffering.
Caregivers.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, my sister. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. In Namibia, we are advocating for decent and dignified ways of living for each and every Namibian. But some of us in the informal settlement, we do not have electricity. And we do have our small ones. And come night, the child wants to go to the bush. What can we do about it?
Very good. Formalization of informal settlement. Yes. Now, okay. Comrade Shipanga here, then Comrade. Yes. Okay. Okay. Comrade Paulus. Yeah. Is the mic working? Yeah. Very good.
My question is there any policy which to all government employees, they only have 2? Yes.
That means that the system is not working for us. I'm coming to you. Yes.
Thank you very much. I'll observe the high table. Mine and accountability, and mostly the economy. The Prime Minister here say that he want equal distribution of opportunity. That means that whether you are in the rural area or urban area, you get the same opportunity. And the government, the budget is doing quite well, and people are being empowered. But the challenge is the economy is driven by the cash flow. Now, when there is no cash flow, the money will not rotate in the circle. And the biggest taker of the cash flow, as much as we are in Windhoek, we come back from home. So when I get money, I build home. Now the home, the money that I'm getting, I'm taking it out of the system to build it my home there. And now that home I cannot even use as collateral. So I want to ask, what system is the government putting in to ensure that the money that we are using in the economies, we're empowering our people, that they're able to use this people thing as security to get support from the banking sector that can then bring back the money in the system, because we are taking the money back by building the rural in the rural villages, having billions of property worth in there that are costing zero economically. And then that also then speak to the public enterprises, and we are talking about accountability. And according to the Public Enterprise Act, they still fall under the Ministry of Finance unless it's amended, or maybe it's in the process. While we are at it now, we are having accountability on the president, the minister, and we are working around with our manifesto. But then we have public enterprises. And now these people, they are appointed, they are governed by a board that do not implement the directives of the minister because they are independent. My question is to our secretary. What measures do we put in place to ensure that they are representatives
if she takes over, she will consider developmental state path. Very important sectors, because the policies, regulations from different departments of government are not speaking to each other, and they are hindering the process. Transport. We might all have a question to say, the Minister of Works and Transport, when it said works, what works are they doing? So we need to ask ourselves that question, and to say, let every bill of quantity for a capital project be produced by Minister of Works and Transport, because that is going to arrest unnecessary competition, bureaucratic tendencies, and thuggery, enrichment among ourselves. We need to address that problem.
Okay.
Comrade, I want to give an answer to, the youth credit scheme.
That's the last one.
That's
Please.
no, it's a second
that should
last.
be the last
Just
one.
a second.
No, you are supposed to only get one.
Sorry,
Please.
comrade. Sorry,
Yes.
comrade.
Yes, we need to move.
When I was a youth, we were here 2013 from the resolutions of 2012 Congress. Comrade Secretary, Comrade Prime Minister, can you recall that? The Youth Credit Scheme, under my leadership as a Secretary of the Youth League, we sent 85 young people for basic business management training to the Youth Credit Scheme. Each one of them got a 2,000 to start a business. Just after a few months, everybody is nowhere to be found. But when we followed up, because the youth credit scheme management were following up, were following me, we found out that the operational environment, comrades, is not suitable for any person who is given money to go to informal settlement to do the business. So what we are calling, Comrade Prime Minister, Comrade Finance, formalization of informal settlement should hit the ground. The last one, Comrade Prime Minister, this one is a plea. Comrade Prime Minister, I know all of us are heading to 2029 general election. Let us deal with APS.
With?
This labor thing. APS. I'm telling you, Comrade Prime Minister and all honorable ministers, that labor hire is exploiting people and they are angry with SWAPO. Let us do away with that thing. And then whoever want to create employment, let them have direct employment. So we are just appealing to that. Thank
Very
you,
good
Comrade.
one. Thank you very much. Very good one. Our last speaker, no, comrades. Unfortunately, I cannot go back again. Time is honestly, she's the last one and then we close. Unfortunately, please. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you that I'm the last speaker. I'll get to the point. Dr. Njikiti, I will leave the honorableness for now and just call you Dr. Njikiti. I just want to share an observation with you that I think is alarming for me as a young lady. I've listened to Top Sherry talk about the creative industry and how for a very long time he just observed the table where others were sitting but were not part, the creative industry was not. I've observed another thing. There are Namibian ambassadors in this country that advocate for health, mental health. They don't get paid for it. That particular advocate would advocate for trade, entrepreneurship. They don't get recognized. They advertise for global interventions when it comes to humanitarian issues, issues that we have nationally and issues that are global issues. They advertise for industries, like the cosmetic industry perhaps is one that I can think of. They are skilled, they are qualified, and they are very abled. They are doctors, they are engineers, they are accountants, and they've got all sorts of professional accolades. But I have seen that in this country, we overlook them. We consider them less than everybody else. We don't consider the value that they bring to the table because it's not packaged in the conventional sense. The soccer guy, Dino, you will go to the soccer guy, and for me, I don't understand soccer anyway. 12, 24 people running after a ball, I don't get it. But apparently we pay money for that, and we put our money there to back them up. I'm talking about pageantry. We have disrespect for pageantry, but remember, when she wins, she's not winning a small little pageant. She's becoming a country representative. But because we don't value the tool that she has, it's not soccer that she can kick around. We don't validate her dream to use it as a tool to become where she wants to go. So I want to implore you this evening, Miss Namibia, and any other pageant for that matter, those girls hustle, Comrade Minister, to go to international pageants. We are here shouting, we want Michelle McLean, Michelle McLean. Those girls on average must go with a makeup artist, hairstylist, a wardrobe of about 30 units. They must have a whole team that accompanies them. For years, these girls go alone, only with the pageant promoter. And what do we do here? We bash them. If we are talking about a creative industry, pageantry supports music, makeup, hairstylists, videos, whatever it is you want to call in art, they support because all these things come together there. We have fashion designers that are graduating from our school. Who must they design for? How must the world see their designs? So I want to alert us this evening. We cannot disrespect our young ladies like that simply because they don't kick a ball, With all
Very
due
good.
respect.
Okay.
But the tool that they have is valuable, and that tool on the global stage, they don't say, oh, it's just a little pageant. They say it's a Namibian, Miss Namibia. So we need to apportion the support and the funding and the recognition
Very
for
good.
those girls, because they do bring something to the table.
Thank you very much. Wow. Now, thank you very much. You can have that one for now. Ladies and gentlemen, Right Honorable Prime Minister, allow me to rule this way with the mandate given to me, that as a moderator, the Swapo Party Youth League, this discussion. I know at the same time, our Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Health, and all of us here, including the Secretary of the Youth League, they have their administrators in place. These questions and suggestions that were raised here have all challenges that we have and that are within our government institutions. I want to say they have taken note of them, and the Youth League on the desk of Economic Affairs, Honorable Lydia is here. We should come up with not resolutions, but the summary discussions of the challenges and concerns and the advices given in this meeting or in this talk show tonight. The chance to each of the panelists to do the closing, but not necessarily to answer a response to the questions that were raised. Otherwise, we will not finish. Okay? Therefore, I'm going to do that, starting from our top cherry, getting to Minister of Finance, getting to Comrade Nekongo, getting to Comrade Health, and then the Right Honorable Prime Minister is going to close off, right? And then we call it the end of the evening. Thank you very much.
When it comes to me, I believe I co-ask most of the questions you guys asked. I think Honorable Balotti, we are probably going to liaise and so I think from the creatives, that is basically us. I will update you guys when I do get that call. Yes, when I do get that call, I will update everyone and say, this was the conversation, this was the conclusions. But yeah, that's very expensive. That's very expensive. But yes, Phineas, Top Cherry what, a daughter of the Swapo Party. And that was me on behalf of creatives.
Thank you so much. This was a great evening. I wish it would be repeated, and we are going to suggest that it should be repeated because we need to come and give feedback. We cannot just be talking today, and then we say bye-bye. We need to come back and give feedback on what we have said. That's really what I wanted to say. And once again, many things, Miss Namibia somewhere there, plus the chalks. It then means, because this is the right time, because we are reviewing the Procurement Act and the other policies of government. So once again, thank you very much for your inputs. Hold us what? Accountable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Comrade Tenya. I think the tone is set. I learned few things. The long-awaited hospital in Commerce region is under construction. I'm speaking now. And the creative industry needs studios, pick it up. It's very expensive. So maybe we can already start thinking, why can't we build one and make sure that our people can benefit? In conclusion, colleagues, let's hold our leaders accountable. We must not be allergic to call them, have gathering with them. Comrade Prime Minister here have said, if we realize that there's a tap leaking at Katutura, we'll go and camp. And we'll make sure that that tap is fixed by our young professions that are trained to do so that we skip some of these things. So I want to, once again, Comrade Vellum, to thank everyone for coming. This is not a beginning. This is not just for today. We'll continue and we'll bring every leaders to this platform to answer those questions. Even those that are sitting home watching on live. So your questions are valued, and we look forward to engage as time goes. Thank you once again.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having us. It is much appreciated. Thank you for allowing us to take your time. We know that your time is very valuable. I want to end off by saying that I've taken note of all the comments, the questions. I remember when I was sitting on the other end, a very young, passionate healthcare worker. And with that said, it is something that I want to take forward. I've thought about it for the past month. You will allow me, my boss is here, and so I would like us to look at the Ministry of Health and Social Services Youth Health Advisory Committee. And that would be an open call should my boss allow. I have not gotten permission. It is my mindset from understanding that there are people's voices that must be heard. And sometimes when you sit in your office, it's difficult to hear those voices. And so should my boss allow, and if it is permitted, we will definitely look at having that. It will be an open call to the public, whereby young people, whether you are in healthcare, whether you are, space, for example, and you have contributions to make to healthcare, you can send in your name and your details, and that advisory committee will then be the voice of the young people in Namibia regarding healthcare. With that, I thank you.
Thank you very much once again. As we started, give yourself a round of applause. We are creative industry in the house. We are because of you. When we were young, there were two phrases we used to use. One was Swapo Youth League Yaroka. That's how we used to say it. So tonight, Honorable Emma is saying, Tobias Hainyeko Yaroka. So I echo what my colleagues have said here. This was a very, very successful and good gathering. So I just want to say one or two things. If there are certain things we can regard as part costs as we go. One, we are free, sovereign, and independent. This is our country. We are in control of this country. So the IT young lady, thank you for what you said. And you have given it to your fellow young person here. The Office of the Prime Minister is in charge of the IT. What we must do in respect of the issues you have mentioned. So your issues, including the chokes, are in good hands. So we will sleep on duty, we will deliver. And deliver about that, there is no option. And failure, we are allergic to it. So this, and that is why, Comrade Moderator, this conversation, Comrade Youth League, Comrade Secretary, there must be a summary of what we have discussed here. And there must be actions, plans on what we have discussed here. So we want to see, and I like your letters, because they normally come. You must say, the ministry and this is what you were directed to do. So an action letter. There must be an action letter to here. There must be an action letter to there, including to the Prime Minister, because otherwise this becomes just a talk shop. Yeah? So that is the way we should go. And the TVET, what do you call it? TVET programs. We in this country, 13 TVET centers. 1 to be 14 is being finished in Oshkoto, so that they can become 14. By implication, we have trained young people in vocational training. So when a tap is leaking, a civil servant should not say, no, we are waiting for Ministry of Works to come and repair this tap. Do you get it? Common sense economic empowerment. You see? So when your computer is not waiting for Windhoek, meanwhile in a nana, even your neighbor who knows how to switch it off. Common sense economic empowerment. So too, there are many, many other issues here that we must approach with common sense. So tonight has been an opportunity for us to learn. All of us here have learned. We might not dance like Top Cherry, but we might imitate her to sing like what? 90% of radios, we are giving you the assignment, 90% of all our radios and television must play local music. And even if that music is not cool, it's Namibian. So some people prefer the music that say, how low can you go? How low? So we prefer top cherry what, top cherry what, top cherry what, yeah? It is ours. So, show you. Okay, something like that. Yeah. So let's have our own list. So, Comrade Secretary and your team, this is a beginning. Comrade Governor, this is a beginning. Let's leave no stone unturned. Everything that we say. In all 121 constituencies, 14 regions. Let's talk, but let's also walk the talk. May God bless you here in Tobias Hainyeko. May God bless Namibia. May God bless our president. May God bless Namibia. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Prime Minister, thank you very much to the panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, you are a very great audience, and thank you very much. I think this is a manifestation that indeed SWAPO has deployed the right minds to lead our government. I think that's a manifestation, clearly, and that we must be proud of ourselves. And we must appreciate that as well to our president, the appointing authority, for having given us and deployed the rightful minds to run the affairs of our government. That we are grateful. In that, I should repeat, the socio-economic, political development of our country is in our hands. And we must all hold hands, and so that we deliver ourselves to prosperity. Thank you very much.
Tukwatere komesho monjira ema guruko osingo osingo tu Ando hai waya zarapo awese atu chorora choro Namibia oe chorora Namibia o. Okay, thank you very much, comrades. We are now finishing. Thank you very much. I'll just give now to you. You may sit for now. Thank you for the song. I equally just want to remind the leadership that before the Namibian people will fire her, she will also. So, yeah. So with that, I want to give PT Secretary of the Youth League for the vote of thanks and closing remarks.
Comrade Minister of Comrade Top Jerry, Comrade Boss, Comrade Moderator, thank you so much. Before I go into my vote of thanks, colleagues, what we have witnessed here, we started it, I think 2 years back, Comrade Nekongo, if I may be correct. We said instead of having meetings as NEC members, as Central Committee members, it's high time that we need to engage with our masses out there, which are the section. We are in a section, which is in a branch, which is the district. So thank you so much, Comrade Leadership of Commerce. Comrades and friends, sympathizers, honorables, and so on. As we conclude this important engagement, let me take this opportunity to, on behalf of the SWAPO Party Youth League, sincerely thank all who have made it to attend this dialogue. It's possible, but politically meaningfully. Because I could hear from the audience when they were engaging. You know, they are speaking like somebody who's from a well-informed. So we have people there that are well-educated, Comrade PM, SWAPO Party Youth League. I was really moved seeing that my fellow generation asking a question. I remember those years, Comrade PM, I'm no longer a pioneer. When we used to be pioneer, you are scared to ask a question, but the way how you guys are engaging your very own prime ministers of parliament, ministers, it shows that you really care for your movement, which is the SWAPO Party. Please keep it up. First, we would like to sincerely thank our Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Elia Ngorare Chitunga, Tate Njikiti, for coming to this platform and preaching a song of generational justice and economic wisdom, and for trusting the role of us, the young people, in the governance of this wonderful nation. Your trust reaffirms that we are not just speculators, we are not just temporal guests, rather, as an architects of national transformation. To Comrade Honorable, my brother Ephraim Nekongo, we have been in this journey since 2017. Our secretary and our faithful guide of the Youth League. Your honesty leadership remind us that young people activism must always center on the structure. Policy and discipline will lead you to go far. And today we can testify that we have our very own. And I remember when Her Excellency appointed a cabinet. Comrade saying, I know what it takes to be in this region. Young people will always say, no, I'm saying this with full of respect. We want to see our own generation leading certain ministry. Ministry of Sport, for instance, education. When Honorable Balot is always going in field, one of the dressing codes that he wears, it's representing young people. It's a suit plus ulster. So you go to the young people, you are relating because you are also from that structure. And also, mind you, comrade, leadership here, LNC. I remember last year when we were busy with the regional engagement, question that young people were asking, comrade presidential candidate, what do you have for the young people? And she said, give me the mandate, I will provide the leadership. As we speak today, it is a testament that Comrade Netumbo's cabinet, it's a cabinet of full young people. Comrade Ngorare himself, my senior, is a product of the Swapo Party Youth League. Comrade Emma Teophilas, she is still, as we speak, as a district secretary of the Swapo Party Youth League, and she is a full. At the government, she's a full minister. So we have deputy speakers, even Comrade Sarah Kuongera, she used to save Youth League. There are so many opportunities and spaces in government if we really start from somewhere, being a section leader or a branch leader. To Comrade Finance, Imaliwa, Imbongo, Honorable Erika Shafuda, my mother, and Honorable Minister of Finance, I'm a bit conflicted, that's my field. Health. So I'm a nurse by profession, and very soon I'll be a qualified social worker. I'm a student social worker. My two seniors, the way how they were speaking, I don't know, as if they are reading it somewhere. How our Minister of Finance was trying to articulate experts saying, why can't I also do short course in accounting? Instead of focusing on mental health cases, maybe I need some knowledge on accounting also. So to the Minister of Health, my sister, welcome to the team. It's not about being new in the leadership. When I came also 2017, coming primary health care, but after 6 months, I became a different person. I could say, instead of maybe trying to diagnose, let me provide leadership. So I started with social responsibility, going to school, giving health education, and so on. But later on, I became a qualified politician. Welcome to the seat of politics. Lastly, to my sisters, joined the Swapo Party Youth League, and I've seen you performing. You know, sometimes also you put your quotation aside and say, no, I just want to do my movement Swapo Party, so that also at the same time marketing your songs. And lastly, to our Central Committee, Comrade Veloman, our newly MP, thank you, have been there moderating since 2017. Please don't get tired. We'll always call you as much as you are our honorable member. So to all our MPs, Comrade Feni, Comrade Tofalas, comrades, we are so thankful having you. So it's a great testimony that when you have your own people there leading the government, you can call them anytime. Remember, it's already past 10. But because they have the heart of young people, therefore, we're having you tonight. We could end up being only with our panelists, myself and my secretary, because due to the time. So to the audience, Pandu Zonene, Twalitumela, colleagues, I do not know how to extend my thanks, but because of you, that's why the Swapo Party Youth League is shining. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade Diaz. Let us rise, and then we have the anthems.
We boosters our freedom. We give all them loyalty, together in unity, contrasting beautiful Namibia, Namibia, our country, beloved land of savannas, banner of liberty. Namibia, our country, Namibia, motherland, we love thee.
Thank you very much, comrades. As protocol dictates, we'll allow the high table to leave first. The rest of us, we have the capable youth league for your